Thank y'all for tuning in to the Sit Downs. Me, Chris P, your host. How about them Georgia Bulldogs? How about them Georgia Bulldogs? Because a lot of teams been sleeping on the Georgia Bulldogs in the past couple of years now. But this year, Georgia Bulldogs shut all that crap up with the SEC title. And this the toughest conference in football, the SEC. And it was a low-scoring game. Both teams had good defenses. That's all I got to say. For it to be a low-scoring game like that and to go on overtime, that was a damn good game in my eyes. So Georgia, congratulations on the SEC title. You feel me? Y'all looked good. Y'all played as a team out there on the 7th of December, this past Saturday. Yesterday, Georgia Bulldogs have been crowned champions of the SEC following a massive win in overtime. That was big for Georgia. That was big for Georgia. Low-scoring game, both defenses really holding each other up because the offense was kind of like making most of the errors. But the defense had to come in and capitalize on both ends of the ball game. On December 7th, like I say, by them winning December 7th, this past Saturday, the Bulldogs faced the Longhorns in SEC championship. Bulldogs finished the season with a 10-2 record and entered the SEC championship as the number 5 team in Week 15 AP Top 25. Number 5, shit, they did damn good. So I want to know how they started out. Because I haven't been really keeping up with college football nor the Georgia Bulldogs. So however they started out, for them to be playing in the SEC championship, they had to fight to get in there. Or the SEC conference people that's over the SEC conference probably could have granted them in, voted them in or whatever, for them to play in the SEC title, because that's a big game. No? That's a very big game. The SEC championship, that's a big. Texas entered the conference as number 2 in the country. They finished the regular season with a 11-1 record and a 7-1 record in the SEC matchup. Damn. So Texas only lost one time. Who they lost to in the season? Because they probably been number 1 if they were never lost. So who they lost to early in the season? I haven't been keeping up with Texas football schedule either. I haven't been keeping up with college football whatsoever. So honestly, I don't know who they lost to. They probably could have lost to the Georgia Bulldogs early in the season. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. But for them to be 11-1, they started out good. They kind of ended good with their second loss of the season. So Texas started off good, but they came up short in the SEC championship overtime. So yeah, from what they telling me, if you want to beat Texas, you got to come down to the wire. You got to come down to the wire when beating them. Go Texas. The Bulls clinched a spot in the SEC championship with a 6-2 record in conference play. They clinched their way up in there. That's damn good for the football conference, for the football organization. Like I say, how they started out. You feel me? However they started out, they ended damn good. For them to clinch their way, you know what I'm saying, in the SEC championship with the 6-2 record, well, who was better than them for them to clinch their way in there? That's what Texas should have been playing. Yeah, that's what Texas should have been playing. They clinched their way in there. They should have been playing the number 1 team, in my opinion. Number 1 or 2 should have been going at it, but y'all know football done changed. They go by off of different results for you to play in them big games, especially. After a pick in the game, opening drive, Texas forced a punt before marching 64 yards and 9 plays to make a 3-0 lead after a 41-yard field goal. So Texas' first points was 3 points or a field goal. So I guess they couldn't really move the ball to put 6 points up on the board for them to actually kick it and get the field goal. So the defense was doing that thing then for them to put 3 points up on the scoreboard. And that probably could have affected them in the long haul. Bulldogs responded with the field goal to cut the lead of Texas 6-3 with 6 minutes and 32 seconds on the clock. Texas won in the first half, 6-3. So Texas won the first half with 2 field goals, and Georgia only had 3 points, which is 1. So Texas won the first half of football. It was a real low-scoring game for this score to come out like that, and it was a damn good game. For them to, for Georgia Bulldogs to win in overtime, that was a low-scoring game. Both teams struggled to gain their footing offensively at the halftime score was 6-3. Let me read that again. Both teams struggled to gain their footing offensively as the halftime score was 6-3. So it was a good ass game. Or there probably was some errors made in the first half of football for the score to be that low. Who was messing up or who was doing their job? That's what I want to know. I'm just reading the facts off of what they put online about the game. I ain't even watched the game, to be honest with y'all. The biggest story of the first half, however, was the injury of Bulldogs quarterback Carson Beck. Damn. And the Bulldogs put Gunnar Stockers in to play the second half. I seen that play. I looked back. I seen one highlight. I ain't gonna say I didn't see the game, but I seen some of the highlights of the game. And I seen when he was throwing that pass before they went into the overtime, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. I think he was throwing it, trying to score. And however the play folded on him, he kind of hurt his arm. Because I think he was going to throw a deep ball or whatever, but I know he hurt his arm trying to score and tie the game up 6-6 going in halftime. So but they put that boy on Gunnar Stockton there, and Gunnar Stockton was doing that thing. I think he threw 1 interception, but he still was doing that thing though, completing his passes. Bulldogs came in the second half, scored, and jumped in the lead 10-6. So they came in and scored. They came in and scored, whether it was the beginning of the half, the start of the half, or whatever, but they came in with an answer to stop them from losing 3-6. So they found a solution to keep the game going. You know what I'm saying? Georgia Bulldogs weren't giving up on themselves, even though it was a low-scoring game. And on top of that, even though they really couldn't move the ball on the ground like that. So Georgia stayed in there. A surge in the third quarter helped GA take a 13-6 lead into the fourth quarter. Damn. So, third quarter, Texas still didn't score. Texas still didn't score in the third quarter. By Georgia them scoring, it put the Bulldogs up. It put the Bulldogs up by 7 points. Put them in the lead of Texas. So Georgia wasn't giving up. Georgia came to play. Because, in the past, Georgia was losing championships. They lost the Super Bowl. They lost the Big Bowl game a couple years ago. So this right here is set the tone for the Georgia Bulldog football organization. Don't sleep on Georgia now. Do not sleep on Georgia. Texas picked off Gunnar pass and started the drive off on the 34-yard line. That came when I think when they went in overtime. You feel me? When he picked off that probably could have came in fourth quarter, whatever, something like that. But Texas picked that thing off. Like I said, it was a low scoring game, and both teams really couldn't score until the second half of football. Texas drove the ball to the Bulldogs' red zone and kicked a game-tying field goal leading to overtime. So, like I say in the beginning, if you want to beat Texas, you got to go down to the wire with them because they ain't no pushover. And Texas, just the state of Texas alone, Texas got good players over there. Texas is a good football program. You feel me? So Texas got some athletes over there. And by them being number 2 in the SEC, Texas was tough to beat because they went into overtime. You know what I'm saying? Texas took that thing all the way into overtime. So you have to come down to the wire when playing Texas. A Texas defense, bite. Their defense is really biting over there. The Longhorns got the ball first, but settled for a field goal. They provided the Bulldogs a chance to score in overtime. So they kicked the field goal instead of going for the touchdown. And that right there, they gave the Bulldogs enough time to score. And it turned out pretty nasty for the Texas Longhorns at the end. They lost by providing the Bulldogs a damn touchdown. That's when that boy Trevor ran it in, and won in overtime. Good job by Trevor by running it in. They should have gave MVP to him because he made it count at the end. The way he pounded it for that little short run, all right. In overtime, Bulldogs held Texas to a 30-yard field goal on their opening drive with the period before Trevor punched it in for a short run to win overtime. So the Bulldogs held Texas to a 30-yard field goal. Feel me? So the Texas, pardon me, the Longhorns kicked the field goal, a 32-yard field goal, instead of them going for it. And that right there, the field goal, it helped them, but it didn't really get the win because they came up short. Dalen Everett was named MVP with 2 interceptions. Like I say, that defense, that D was biting. That good defense was biting for it to be a low-scoring game and for them to go in overtime. And then this between Texas and Georgia, it's their first time in both of their history of football going into overtime and winning it. That's big. That's big for Georgia. Beating number 2 team in overtime in the SEC. Texas is tough, bro. Texas is tough. And they had to come down to the wire to beat the number 2 team. So congratulations, Georgia, on the win. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the National Bowl game. Let's see who having the National Bowl game after this SEC championship game. We're going to see. Thank you for tuning into the Sit Down with me, Chris P, your host.